statement or just questions with microphones on either side?
Seems like we have a very sparse crowd in here today. But I thought we had a good day. I think, offensively we're a little further along, which is good. Should be with the returners that we have, the skilled guys, Jake, the running backs that we have. I think we have an opportunity to have a good offensive football team, but I just said opportunity. I mean, we've got 120 days till we report. I think it's critical for us to get healthy with Randrikus Davis and A.J. Turner and get some guys back. We still got some answers up front we need to have. But pleased with that. Defensively, we've got some unknowns as we go into fall camp, which is concerning as a coach from a standpoint of some guys that aren't on campus that are going to need to help us. Will need to play for us, and that's not always good leaving spring ball, but that is what it is. That's where we are right now. So we got to continue to improve up front, affecting the quarterback with 4 guys rushing. Coverage at times was suspect, so got to continue to work through some of those things. But I'm pleased with our progress through spring ball. I thought we made some improvements in some areas we needed to. And again, 120 days, an opportunity to either get better or worse every day. And I challenged our guys to understand that and get in great shape come fall camp. So we're looking forward to an open up for any questions.
If you're able to get a microphone, Josh.
Is that about what you've seen from Tyson Williams, and were you pleased that he did it in front of?
Yeah, I think he's had a really good spring camp. I think that you see this very similar running styles to Rico, a one-cut, violent runner north and south with his pads. Thought he made 2 really nice runs, one on the goal line and one on the power play on the bounce out. And he hasn't played football in a long time as far as tackle football is concerned. So very pleased with his progress. He's got a great work ethic, a great attitude, and a talented player.
Chris.
Well, what has been the biggest improvement on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, I think, right now we're in a situation because of our experience that we're able to, and a lot of credit can go to Jake, but really to our entire offense to be able to get out of a bad protection, get out of a bad run. A lot of times last year we were call it and haul it. We didn't have the ability to be able to do that. And so now we're able to get to the line of scrimmage and go fast if we want to go fast. And if we don't like the look, Jake's able to get us out of it. And a lot of that credit goes to him, but also our entire offense for understanding. And I think we're just further along. I think we've done a nice job on the line of scrimmage, getting a hat on a hat in the run game. There was no free runners today as far as pressure was concerned. We stayed in 4 down defensively, but we did bring some overloads. And I thought we did a nice job for the most part of getting a hat on a hat in protection. So I would credit just another year in the system with a very young team last year that now I think has understood how important the meeting room is and taken it from the meeting room to the field. And we've got some mature guys that understand what it takes to be successful.
Will guys with an injury like Skies can be tentative when they come back?
Yeah.
How did you see his spring? Did he
Never a tentative moment. The first day of pads was our 3rd day. We did our cock drill, which is a one-on-one. First thing making contact's your head, and he got in that drill. We didn't say a word to him, and he went right after it. And so, but that's the type of competitor he is. He's a good football player. He's extremely instinctive. To have him back, to see him, I wanted him to get about a quarter today just to get back in the field, to feel that tackle, feel that feeling of what that's like before we get into fall camp, because we'll probably only have 1 scrimmage in fall camp to get ready for the season based on where we are depth-wise. So, extremely proud of how he's handled a very difficult situation, a difficult year for him.
Let's go to the back. Mike.
Coach, I know it could be a loaded question, but just going into today, what did you tell Jake you were just looking for him as a whole?
Well, I didn't really tell him anything. I have an expectation for him every day, and that's to improve and get better, which he does. And he attacks it. He understands the things he needs to do to improve as a player. But he goes about the day the right way every day, whether it's a spring game or it's an off-season day. On Monday, he'll go at it the right way again.
Jamarcus and Steven left. What's the update on those guys?
Steven just had a stinger, and Jamarcus is going to have a plate put in his forearm there. He'll be lifting in 2 weeks. So just a crack there in his forearm. I don't know the total prognosis. That's what Clint told me. They took him to the hospital, and he's going to have a little plate put in there, and he should be fine. Mm-hmm.
Over here to him.
A couple guys who are not playing today, Lamons, Sedarius Hutcherson.
Yeah,
Anything
Chris-
significant with him, or just?
No, Chris had a sprain in his arch. He practiced Thursday. He's missed some of the spring with putting weight on his foot, and he practiced Thursday and was really kind of gimpy out there. I didn't think it would be good to put him out there unless he was full speed. Sedaris got rolled up in the last scrimmage and had a pretty severe sprained ankle. It's not a high ankle, so I think he'll be probably back full speed in about a week and a half.
Coach, what kind of spring did Ortre Smith have, and what did it mean to see him make that last catch?
Well, it's huge. I think anytime you get in front of people in our stadium and understand it's a little different environment, certainly will be very different September 2nd. But really proud of him, a mid-year guy coming in, which is always difficult, and adjusting to the transition very well academically, very well socially, and certainly from a football standpoint. He had surgery on his ankle, excuse me, in December. And he's recovered extremely well off of it. He was non-contact for, I think, the first 9 or 10 practices, and he's been contact the last week. But I'm really pleased with his progress. He's going to help our football team next year.
Back to them, Greg.
Coach, you said that the team is understanding the importance of these team meeting scenarios. How are you preaching the importance of the summer season, getting them ready to continue to improve when you guys aren't together as a team?
Well, that's where your leadership of your football team takes over. And, again, I feel very comfortable about where we are offensively when you talk in terms of Jake Bentley and Hayden Hurst and Debo Samuel and Brian Edwards and those guys and, our offensive line. I mean, those guys are going to work. Defensively, I feel good about it. We need to continue to have more guys step up with accountability of the things it takes to be successful. And I certainly think that they will. I don't have any reason to believe they won't.
Thoughts on the kicking game, Washington and Connors?
I thought, Alex kicked the ball well. I wish he had hit the 132-yarder, I think, that he missed, but he missed a 52-yarder and a 54-yarder. He had the distance on both of them. I think he's had an outstanding spring. I believe at one point of spring he was 21 of 23. And in all one-minute situations, critical kicks, he hit every one of them. Certainly, I think today was huge for him. Joseph kicked the ball well. Parker White kicked off well. And Joseph and Michael are in a battle for the starting punting slot as we look. And I thought we punted the ball extremely well under some duress today. We rushed today on purpose. Those guys needed that in that situation. But I think we're in good hands. You never know till September 2nd of when you got to go out and hit that game winner to help us win a football game and have that pressure. And it's hard to simulate that. But as far as the ability standpoint, the ability is there for us to be extremely successful.
With the rest of the operation, snappers and holders,
Everything so far has been good. I mean, obviously when you lose a guy like Drew snapping from an accuracy standpoint, from a timing standpoint, but also a coverage standpoint, we've lost a little bit there because Drew is a good guy who could cover down the field in punt situations. A lot of people don't account for the long snapper in coverage. So, but I think, Harrison Freeman, Ben Osbury, Nick McGriff, we've got good competition, which is going to help us.
Coach, this is a question about outside of today's game. What is your reaction and what is the talk of the players about the women's basketball and the men's basketball? What are you guys?
Well, our guys are tremendously, and I should have started with this, congratulating Dawn Staley on getting to the national championship. First time in school history. Obviously, our men's team playing at 6 o'clock, getting for the first time ever in the Final Four. So it's awesome. Our guys totally embrace it. I told our guys it's time for us to do something around here with our football program. I think it's great.
With the evaluation period coming up and summer camps, how important is these next few months for recruiting and putting together this class?
Oh, there's no doubt. This is a huge part of what we do is evaluations, exactly what you just said. You got to get out and, evaluate the type young man we want in this program. We've got critical factors at each position we're looking for. All the intangible qualities, obviously character, transcript, academic, all of those things that are really important to track the right kind of guys that we want in our program. And through April, and April 15th is when the spring evaluation starts, through the end of May, which is a critical time for us to be on point with our evaluations. And then the camp season starts with 24 of our signees, 22 of them were in our camps. So we know about their work ethic, we know about their athleticism, we know about their coachability, we know about their football intelligence. So when you're able to find those four things out, you find out a lot about a player. And it does nothing but help you and eliminate mistakes in the recruiting process.
Coach, how different do you feel from right here in this moment to this moment a year ago?
Well, I feel a lot better about our situation offensively. There's no question. There's no doubt about that. I think that we have some. I think from our skill level defensively, we've improved ourselves. But I'm concerned about our depth, and I'm concerned about the unknowns. I don't like leaving spring practice with unknowns of positionally where some guys are going to be. I like to at least have a comfort level of where some guys are going to be, and we're going to be asking some guys that are not on our campus yet to contribute in a major way to our football team. And that's hard to do because you don't ever know from a work ethic standpoint and the transition, being away from home for the first time, how are these guys going to adjust and how are these guys going to handle it? You think you know, but you don't ever know. So that's concerning. But we had a lot of question marks last year on both sides of the ball. And you looked at a guy like Brian Edwards and Rico Dowdle and Jake Bentley and all these guys that did step in and play well for us as the season wore on. I don't think it's going to be that drastic this year, but certainly we're going to need some new guys to help us, especially on defense.
Anything else for Coach Muschamp? Mike?
Coach, just going off that, you've been very open all spring, just talking about, hey, we may need some guys that aren't here yet to fill in on defense. Not to single out any guys, but some of those meetings that you might have had with those defensive players that could be, competing for those spots. How much of a challenge have you put on them to say, hey, look, we're not comfortable right now. We need you to come into the fall and be able to compete, your tail off, just like any position, but those ones in particular.
As far as the new players coming in,
Yeah, maybe those spots, like talking about the guys that were.
I saw about 4 of them walking out of the locker room, and I told them we were really honest with you in the recruiting process, right? They said, yeah. I said, you got a great opportunity. Go take advantage of it. I don't promise you anything. I promise you an opportunity. If you play well, you're going to play. If you're the best of your position, you'll start. But we got to have some guys come in and make a difference in our football team. Whether that's providing depth or starting, I don't know. But we've got to get better.
But for the guys that are here right now, though, that might be playing some of those positions that could see changes. I know it could be anyone, but those spots in particular. Have you told those guys, look, this is what could be going on?
They're told every single day. It is crystal clear. How clear? Crystal. All right, y'all have a great night. Pull us through.